I'm Monty, and this is my mum, my brother Marley, and my dad. We're a family travelling around the world, and if that isn't difficult enough, we're doing it during a global pandemic. Join us for our regular videos.
What are you doing here, Marley?
Washing up.
Washing up? Keep going, keep washing. And you, Monty, how are you going on?
This requires more wrist strength than I realised.
More.
Shut up.
So we've got a three-way setup. See the real work's being done on the middle sink as soon as this gets put down. But they're doing pretty well. That's it, keep going, Master. Right, we're in the washing time, and then we're going to be rinsing in a minute. So life in the van. So I'm sure many people think, oh my goodness, 4 people, a very small van, how does it work? So we thought we'd do a little video explaining how some of the bits and pieces work. So I'll do a bit and the kids will do a bit. So the kitchen, I nearly called it a galley, too used to sailing and sailing boats, but it's very similar to a sailing boat kitchen, sailing boat galley, and it's pretty small and you have to be pretty organised. But if you come a little bit closer, everything that you need, little sink, clever little draining board. Everyone is amazed at this bit, the 4-burner hob, or the 3 gas burners, 1 electric burner, so you can nick the electricity from a campsite if needed. Toaster, kettle, only when you're on shore power as we call it, but hooked up to the mains electricity in a campsite. Grill, oven, Delia Smith style, so you can cook pretty well, it has to be said. So that bit I would say is not a compromise, the oven at all. Then you have a fridge, which everyone has commented on. Lots of people comment on my fridge videos of what's in the fridge, but you can have 4 or 5 days, I guess, of food in here to keep us going, and it's for the kind of non-campers, bit dull, but so you have 3 different ways of using it. So you can either have it on gas when you've got no electricity or no you don't want to wear your battery down, or you've got on 240 volts or 220 volts, which is when you've got mains power hooked in, or you've got on 12 volts, which is connected to a different battery to the starting battery for the engine, and then that's has power from the solar power that we put on the roof. So it's brilliant. It's as anyone knows who travels or either camps or in boats or anywhere, when you go away, having cold food, cold beer, butter, milk is a complete game changer. It makes life much more pleasurable. So the kitchen works a treat, and I spend a lot of my time in here.
So I thought I'd just tell you a little bit about the space that we've got in our van, because I quite like the fact this van has got so many cupboards and lots of storage space, and for a van you literally can fit everything you need in it. Matt's already told you about the fridge. I was a little bit worried about our fridge, I have to say, because I thought, how can we feed 4 people, a teenager being one of them, with all the food that we need? But it fits so much in. We have to do a shop, twice a week? So really impressed with the fridge. So we've got lots of little cupboards up here, quite deep, they go back a bit.
That's my cupboard, very tiny.
That's less. A couple of bits here.
Half my cupboard, not so tiny.
This is kind of like the library, the kind of bits and bobs.
This is an emergency situation, first aid kit.
Well, that's true, first aid kit, torches, lights, that sort of stuff. Rubber bands, you need a lot of rubber bands. And then this is the kitchen bit here. So we have all the plates and honey and Marmite, and then other bits there, tea, bit of garlic, and then the store cupboard here with all the food in, which is pretty good. And then this bit's quite clever down here as well. You've got this sort of bit by the oven here, all the cutlery in there, which is And then the drawer where you chuck everything here, and a few kitchen utensils. And then your larder. Even got a larder in our van. A pull-out larder.
Look at that.
Oh yes.
Talk us through what's in there.
What do we got here? Some green olives, cans of tuna, salsa dip.
I think that salsa dip has travelled.
I think that was on
that's
wave.
off the boat.
That's off the boat.
That's travelled for many years.
Still in date, I think. Yeah, eggs down there, a few bits of bobs. So, pull-out larder as well. So yeah, it's a really, really well kind of stocked little van, really. Loads and loads of space. Love it.
Hello. The ensuite facilities. You have to give a very wide angle for this. But it's all here. It's all you need. It's a toilet, chemical toilet that goes straight down into a plastic container. Really nice. But again, people who have been on boats are pretty much used to toilets that are a bit miserable. And I have to say, chemical toilets, I think, in some ways, are better than the pump toilets of a boat, because when the pump toilet on a boat gets blocked, it is disgusting. At least with these, it goes into a container and you bin it. You just get rid of it down another toilet every 3 days. So it's not amazing, but it does the job. And a little sink, running water, hot and cold, as much as you want really, within reason. Lasts for 3 or 4 days. Broken mirror that I managed to break when I was fixing something and I haven't got around to fixing it yet. Shower. Hang on. Fully enclosed shower. Come a little bit closer. Hot and cold, and it is amazingly good, this shower. I've been constantly impressed with it. And for a camper van, or I know I keep going about boats, or a camper van or a caravan or a boat, this is pretty spacious. I've been on 50, 55 foot boats, and their ensuite facilities are a lot smaller than this. So again, thumbs up. The bit that nobody ever sees. Come this way. So under here is literally the bit that no one ever sees, but basically this little unit here is electric and gas for heating your water and for space heating. So these are pipes all the way around the van, so if you want to have warm air from the electricity or from gas, which we keep, then this does it all. And again, I'm constantly amazed, touch wood, clearly this isn't wood, but I'll touch it anyway. It just works. We don't do anything with it. We just turn it on when we need it and it just works. And no kind of disrespect to our previous owner, that's pretty much how he did it as well, and it just worked for him. When it goes wrong, I don't know what we'll do, but we'll deal with that when it comes. But if you keep going this way a little bit, under here is the, you probably can't see, is the blue unit, which is the control panel for the solar panel that we fixed, which basically just means that the leisure battery gets topped up, so you can, as long as you're not using masses of power, then you can have all your kind of 12 volt appliances. The fridge can work as much as you want, all the lights will work, and you can stay for days on end without having to run the engine to charge a 12 volt battery up.
Do you think I should confess that I didn't know that Cubby did that? And I didn't know that that was underneath.
I wouldn't confess. It's not a confession to me. That's just confirmation rather than a confession.
Hello, welcome to our section of the van review. I almost fell over there. Anyway, we're going to be reviewing the bedrooms. There's 1.5 because that does not count. This is Mum and Dad's bed. It's kind of like, you know, you've got the van bit and then it's got a hump. This is the hump. I cannot do that. It's small.
Goodbye.
And cozy. And it's basically just a double bed, a small double bed up here. And if you sit up at night, you'll hit your head on this. Anyway, moving backwards, in the van is our bedroom. Bang my head there. This is my bed, this is Marley's bed.
Hello.
He instantly gravitates to his. You can tell it's Marley's bed because there's a cushion with a poem on it. Anyway, this is my cupboard, and is as disorganised as you would expect a teenager's cupboard to be when he's got about like 3/4 of a metre of space for all of his stuff. This is both my and Dad's cupboard. This is slightly more organised because it has sailing gear in it.
And this is my cupboard. Organised as utter hell.
This is the single most organised thing, and I do plan to organise my cupboard. I haven't got around to it yet. This is where we charge things because you need your video editing beast that is a MacBook Air. I'm being sarcastic. And during the day, our beds are sofas, and then during the night we like just cover this bit with a sheet and get a duvet out and plonk that on, and all the cushions get lobbed into the middle here, and it becomes a bed, and then in the morning you transition it back. Oh yeah, and there is this. This is like a little screen. That means we don't get any light coming through from there. So, see ya. Moving swiftly outside. This is the awning, which basically just extends the area you can reasonably call your van, for everyone wondering why they're taking up 2 parking spaces. There's a little mat that goes under it, because keep your feet clean. Table, eat. This is basically just used for anything you need to do outside, so we eat here, I've been video editing here, you sit outside when it's too warm. We've got 4 chairs, 3 of which we brought here from the Decathlon for a steal. This was, how much was this chair, Marley?
€4.
€4 for this little stool. And it packs up like this, which means we can shove it in the storage. Speaking, and I'd better show you the storage is. There's a couple of storage bits in this van. This is one of them. So this is the main locker, which goes, this is under my bed, and you can access it from under my bed, and it goes past my bed to like the middle of our bedroom, under the floor, if you can visualise that. And if I put my sandals on, ow, just have my foot on something.
Ow.
And then we go round this way. Our bikes are locked to the electricity pole for... Oh yeah, that's another thing, shore power. So this is like a shore power lead off a boat, which connects to there. And if we don't have electricity here, we're going off a small solar panel on the top, which means you don't get much. So charging is limited to whether or not a campsite has electricity. Come on over here. Bikes are normally on here. Bikes normally on the bike racks here, but we can't be bothered to put them on. A ladder that goes up to the top to access the top box that we haven't brought because it makes the van too tall for most ferries. And solar panels and hatches up there if you need to. This is the washing line because we have to hand wash all of our stuff today. This is the gas locker, which is under Marley's bed, but you can't access it. One of our gas bottles is dead, so we need to get a new one, and we've got fire stuff in there. And final bit of storage is it's locked with a cupboard here, which basically just got tools in it.
And this is the toilet.
That's the toilet, yes, and I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. There we go, toilet. Yeah, we got to empty
small.
that. Yeah, empty that at some point when it becomes full. Moving forwards, round the back of the van. That's the bulge bit where the double bed is that I was talking about. And got another washing line. Another washing line over here. Path that looks like it goes down to the sea but doesn't. It's got a bit of a drop. And over here under the washing line, 2 paddle boards. One big one that we got 3 years ago and one small one that we got 3 months ago. Hammock, yep. Pretty amazing view, and the sunset's this way, so it looks pretty nice. I've got a time lapse of that will be up on screen now, if I can find it. If I can't find it, there'll be Rainbow Comic Sans text that says no. Anyway, here, this is the tent. You shove stuff under it if it's going to rain, and it just keeps it dry. Also, it means we've got a bit of outside storage that means things aren't about to get nicked. And that pretty much concludes the van tour, I think. You've now seen inside it and outside it, and you'll be able to kind of visualise. Also, yeah, we've got to get all of this packed up into Basically, all this table goes inside, and the computer goes in the computer drawer. But aside from that, everything you're seeing outside goes in here. That is a pain to do. So every time we rock up at a campsite, we've got, me and Dad normally, have got to roll the awning away, pack all of this up into there, which is why we don't like getting everything out unless we're staying in a place for a while. That concludes the van tour. Thank you very much for watching.
'Cause I'm sky high, yeah, I'm sky high. Oh, I know you know I'm sky high, yeah, I'm sky high, I'm sky high, yeah, I'm sky high.
The Croatian campsite you're seeing in us now represents the longest time we've stayed in one place in the trip so far. An astonishing 6 nights. This is partly because we are no longer in Schengen, partly because we needed a break after bombing around multiple cities, and partly because it was a really nice campsite with ocean views, Wi-Fi, paddleboarding, and we just had a general good time there, slowing down a bit.
You're not gonna shoot me down, no, no one, no one, no one is gonna shoot me down, no, no one, no one, you're not gonna shoot me down, no. No one, no one, no one is gonna shoot me down, no, no one, no one, you're not gonna shoot me down, no.